Dave Mackay, so long a favourite at Tottenham, returns as skipper of Derby.
This really was a wonderful day for me, coming back to White Hart Lane. This is the day I've dreamed about since Derby won promotion last year, and it was very nice to come back there.
Dave Mackay, who broke his leg twice in the service of Spurs, and a really glorious career he had there, and a great reception from the crowd. But today Spurs field a side that swept past Bradford City in a replay on Wednesday, but they so often look strangely vulnerable on their own ground this season, and no doubt they'll be very pleased indeed that their big number 5, Mike England, is back in their defence. He's missed several weeks with an ankle injury and went off before the end on Wednesday. Spurs, I think, are going to need him against this Derby County side that lies 5th in the First Division. Robson is unfit at full-back, so Peter Daniel gets a rare chance, and at number 9, Frank Wignall, so often a substitute, comes in for the injured O'Hare. The crowd, 38,000 strong, and they still have one more salute for Dave Mackay. The referee, Jim Finney.
So it's a match that is charged with all the right sort of emotions here at White Hart Lane, with so much respect and affection for Dave Mackay, skipper of Derby County, now defending that goal to our left in the dark shirts, all blue in fact. Perryman looking for Gilzean, cut out by McFarland, and Spurs with so much to play for. They want to beat their old chum Dave Mackay, but above all they want to revenge that 5-0 defeat up at the baseball ground in September. A really astonishing result, and one that Spurs won't likely forget. Here's Hinton, beaten away by Kinnear, and finally England getting it away to Perryman. So much rain on this pitch in the last 24 hours, and in fact at midday it was completely covered in water, but the drainage here, which was overhauled in the summer, really has done its job. It'll be very heavy with so much sand on it. Kinnear. Kinnear again. Gilzean. A nice little kick inside for Pearce. Not too much support for him though. Gilzean again. Still only Greaves right in the middle. This is going towards Greaves, and very well read though by Webster. Webster read that well and got in number 2 before Greaves. Could have been dangerous. Kinnear with a throw. Gilzean with one of those delicate flick-ons. Coming through now to Morgan. Knowles. To Perryman. And Tottenham's ball, says Mr. Finney. Having glanced off a Derby player. Joe Kinnear to take it. Gilzean trying to come away from McFarland, and McFarland's feet were rather high, but he gets it through now to Hinton. Hector racing on ahead of him. Hector, beautiful play there by Derby County, and a good piece of work there by Jennings. Hector was really right through, and Jennings did a wonderful job for Tottenham then. That really was a good break by Derby. Wignall's pass to Hector that caught Philip Beal and the whole of the Spurs defence out. Saved by Jennings, and now Gilzean to rise to try and flick it on. Beal again, beaten near Wignall! Oh, and again Jennings! And now Hector, can he finish it off? Down goes Jennings again! No penalty, says referee Finney. And 2 enormous scares in that Tottenham defence. Split wide open. And now Mullery. Brought down by Carlin, and Mullery not happy with it. Jim Finney, the firm peacemaker. What a wonderful thing it would be to eavesdrop, and good to see that the referee, although admonishing the players, can still smile with it. And a handshake. Knowles with the free kick for Tottenham, slanting it presumably towards Gilzean. Here it is, towards Gilzean, and he's beaten in the air again. Morgan to Kinnear. Oh, a nice little flick there for Pearce. First time cross. There's Green. Beal is dogged enough, and he slipped at the wrong moment. Wignall away. Hector is roaring into the middle, Kevin Hector. And linesman's flag up on the far side. Presumably offside against Hector. Gilzean to Morgan. Hinton. And Hector. Oh, he gave the free kick to Derby County, and I think had he delayed that whistle a second or so, it's easy to say it, then Hector would have been right through. One of those very difficult decisions for referees, whether to let it go on or whether to stop it there and then, but it's indicating quite clearly an indirect free kick then, which Dave Mackay is setting up for Derby County. Aim towards Hector. And Webster trying to bang one. Knowles. Gilzean getting up. And Mackay finding Dirk. Jumped over very nicely by Hector. Now Carlin. Hector looking a real threat to Tottenham in this first 20 minutes or so. Hinton. Oh, and Jennings was really stretched for that one. Curling in under that crossbar. He really had to dive that fist out and push that one away. Now Mullery. Morgan. And Pearce calling for it down the left. Pearce, Morgan. Now curling one, Greaves, can he control it? The ball bouncing about there like a pin machine there for a moment or two. And the upshot of it is a corner for Spurs, and Greaves so very closely to controlling that ball inside the 6-yard box. England now right up on the edge of the penalty area. The big number 5 scored several good goals with his head from corners, and perhaps Pearce will be aiming for him. Wignall right back with him. That's what England wants. And he's not going to get it. Kinnear back to Pearce again. Low and half, Greaves! Oh, what a goal by Greaves! Oh, what a superb header by Greaves! So there we are, 23 minutes gone. Spurs ahead. And people came here to applaud Dave Mackay, but they really cheer when Greaves bangs one in, and it's not often that they see him bang one in with his head. And certainly a Greaves goal has for so long escaped us on the big match, and now we've got a real great one from Jimmy Greaves. Gilzean, watched by McFarland. And Gilzean beating his man. And Gilzean again. Pearce trying to get under it. And getting under it well. Nobody there to finish it off. And Mackay coming in. And now McFarland Spurs keeping this pressure up though. Knowles. Pearce wanting it at his feet and Knowles delaying it just a little too long, I think. Greaves. And played into touch by Daniel. Greaves. Oh, played beautifully there. And Green going out. Can Morgan get in? Green still hasn't got it. And Mackay to the rescue. And not at all happy that it's a corner. Mackay obviously felt that they'd have got off a Spurs player. And Jim Kinnear making sure that the press photographers are back a safe distance. Mackay, who really has come to the rescue of Derby in these last couple of minutes. England getting his head under it. Flicked on and flicked away again by Mackay. Mullery! There wasn't too much room for Mullery to shoot there because that penalty area was really packed. So Green to take the goal kick in a really lively game here. And Beal finding Mullery, and if Mackay has been urging his men on, then Mullery certainly has been doing a tremendous job in the middle for Tottenham this afternoon so far. Now it's Gilzean. Played for Greaves. Getting in. Oh, well played by Greaves. Mullery! That really was a marvellous piece of work and a very tight situation by Greaves. And surprising how quickly Mullery had gone up into a shooting position as well. Now Wignall to Hinton. Knowles away, but only as far as Carlin. Now Hector with a bit of space. Can he get a shot? No. Knowles really went storming across that penalty area. But a corner to Derby. Hinton coming across to take it. Webster's gone up for a short one and Greaves has gone alongside him. Aim towards Wignall, and good catching by Jennings. Good judgment and good catching at the end of it. Carlin, very determined piece of play by him, and McGovern showing too much of it to Knowles. Knowles again. Oh, not looking and allowing Hinton to come in and take it. Not given any warning that Hinton was coming up so quickly from the back. Here's McGovern again. Hector. Having quite a battle against Beal, and down he goes, a free kick. And a yard and a half further on, and that most definitely would have been a penalty. Well, perhaps 4 yards at any rate. But it's a Tottenham wall that faces what could be a troublesome moment. And Jim Finney pacing out 10 yards. And Tottenham's idea of 10 yards and his idea of 10 yards really don't coincide. And wait, says referee Finney, until I say. It's going to be Hinton who can bang it. No, it's not. It's Carlin to Mackay, who can also bang one to Durban. Almost getting through. And now Gilzean away. Still Gilzean, now Greaves, he's offside. He's offside. And in fairness to the linesman, his flag was up as Greaves ran onto that ball long before he planted it past Green. McGovern. Oh, neatly beating Morgan. Oh, and a good pass here to Wignall. Hector And England away. Webster to Mackay. Now he'd dearly love to get an equaliser, Mackay. So there goes the half-time whistle, and that goal by Jimmy Greaves in the arms of Dave Mackay, putting Spurs ahead by a goal to nil at half-time. Still to come on the big match, highlights of Manchester United against Arsenal, but the half-time score here at White Hart Lane is Spurs 1, Derby County 0. More soccer for you in just a couple of minutes. So Spurs then preparing to kick off for this second half. Now defending the goal to our left. This goal up by Jimmy Greaves. And it's Greaves now pushing it back to Alan Mullery. Wignall losing it out to England. Perryman. Now Greaves. Oh, Greaves! And McFarlane cutting it out, and a goal kick. McFarlane really covered some ground there to get that foot in. Well, they had many great years together, of course, at Tottenham. Hector. Beal. So a throw to Derby, and they really haven't shown anyone yet with a liking for the long throw or an ability to throw a really long ball, and it's from that sort of position. So Knowles gets it away. Mackay missing out. Carlin, such a brave little player, going in when Knowles was coming full pelt to him. Now Hinton, who can shoot, and that was going just inside that far post. It hit Hector, his own teammate, and if that hadn't hit Hector, I have a nasty feeling for Spurs that would have crept just inside the post. And Hinton really can hit him. Mullery to Knowles. Mullery again. And a foul given against Durban on Mullery, holding him back. And not much has gone unnoticed by referee Jim Finney this afternoon. Pushing Knowles back a couple of yards. Gilzean at the far side, hoping for this one onto his head, but that won't reach him. Mackay away to Wignall. And Beal closing in very quickly, very much more quickly in this second half on Hector. And Mackay misheading it a little bit, but finding Green. Mackay. Hector to Wignall. Played out neatly now for Durban, and played in first time by Durban very intelligently indeed. And they get a corner. Hinton's going to take it. And there are plenty of men in blue coming forward indeed. Only Dave Mackay is staying back now. He is just inside the Tottenham half of the field, and everybody else is forward. And Knowles, after a little scare in that Tottenham defence, gets it through to Greaves. Greaves beating Carlin. Oh, straight to Durban. And now Hector, completely unmarked on the left. Again, Beal closing quickly on him. And a corner. So it's Hinton with the corner. Twisted away, coming through now to Webster. And just over! And certainly there is so much more chance of Derby doing something the more men they are piling forward, which is obviously what they're aiming to do now. Carlin. And now Morgan. To England. And Mackay is up in chase, and so too is Gilzean. Coming in very rapidly, causing a little bit of panic there. And Mackay finally putting it away for a corner. A little bit of a misunderstanding there between number 5 McFarland and number 6 Mackay, and Gilzean not helping it by coming in there and harassing them as much as he possibly could, causing things to happen in that penalty area. So it's a corner then to Spurs. England well up there, Morgan well up there, and now Perryman to try one. Morgan, and now Greaves is offside. He's offside. He's not happy, but he's offside. So one valid goal to Jimmy Greaves today, and 2 offside goals. And Durban in a bit of distress. And Dave Mackay explaining just why Jimmy Greaves was offside.
Come on, wait for me. Come on, wait.
Oh, come on, the game isn't as bad as that, surely. Wignall to Durban. Durban, who's been pushed forward more and more in this second half as Derby look for the equaliser. Wignall. Good play by Beal to Perryman. Pearce, oh, running straight into trouble, and Perryman getting it out of it and then getting into trouble himself as Carlin now finds Wignall. 2 big men, Wignall and England. Derby's ball, and Wignall with it. Daniel right up. Almost getting it through too. Mullery and Greaves. Oh, one for Gilzean, and he's onside. He's got Morgan up in support. And there it is! Oh, a beautiful goal! Morgan to finish it off. Greaves and Gilzean to make it. A truly great goal. Well, it was Greaves and Gilzean who fashioned it, and it was Morgan who darted in to finish it off. Durban. And that really does diminish the prospects of Dave Mackay having a happy return to Tottenham. And it increases the prospects of Spurs getting some revenge for that terrible defeat at Derby earlier this season. Perryman, who learns with every game in the First Division, only 18 years old. But as I say, how good to see that Spurs have kept faith with him this season. They've given him his chance and they've stuck with him. Mackay to Carlin. And away goes Webster. And Perryman in the thick of it again. And a corner. Just under a quarter of an hour to go. And Derby are going to need big hearts to get something out of this game now. A lot of men coming forward for this corner from Hinton, including McFarlane, the big number 5. Gilzean back with him. And England, oh, not getting to it. McFarlane getting to it. Gilzean breasting it away. Pearce. To Greaves. Kinnear free on the right. Here's Kinnear. Good play by Tottenham. Mackay closing in. And now through. And Pearce goes down, but Jim Finney's not fooled. But another example of a good counter-attack by Spurs. Beal beating Hector to it, but the ball had gone over for the throw to Derby. It's Webster to put a low one in towards Wignall. Morgan finding Gilzean. Oh, Greaves and Gilzean between them, somehow finding Mullery. Perryman to Kinnear. Perryman. Pearce to his skipper Mullery. Gilzean to leap for it, and only to get it under pressure, but it's gone over for a goal kick. Alan Durban to Alan Hinton, and Morgan right back. That was good dogged play by McGovern to shake off Mullery in that fashion, and he's won a free kick for Derby. Carlin taking it quickly to spread it out towards Hinton, and one towards the far post for Wignall to go for, although it was Hector who got his head to it in the end. Webster to McFarlane. Durban to Hector. Jennings calling for it, and England turning a deaf ear to Pat Jennings' shouts. So it's Hinton. Fair bit of pushing and shoving. And Kinnear, says the referee, is the guilty one. So Dave Mackay with the kick for Derby. Daniel right up there, putting it straight in. And Wignall, oh, he was a little slow there. Carlin! Carlin! When Spurs thought they were safe, Carlin screwed that little leg of his round and makes it 2-1. So Derby now come back into this game with something like 4 minutes left. Willie Carlin gets his 6th goal of the season. And Spurs just that little bit slack in defence. They thought they were safe and they didn't reckon with the fighting heart of Willie Carlin. Now McGovern. And Hector away. Watched by Beal. Now Derby's throw. They're going to push everything at Tottenham now. Wignall. And they've got a corner. And now this really is the moment for Derby. They've really got to press Spurs now for these remaining 4 minutes or so. Plenty of men coming forward. McFarland, one of them, who's quite a damp hand at scoring with headers from corners. Fisted away, headed back by McGovern, and away for another corner by Gilzean. The pressure really on Tottenham. Wignall in the 6-yard box to make things difficult for Jennings. Here comes the corner again, a low one and not a good one. Planted away, but Mackay to put it back again. And Spurs, in fact, by the way that Knowles wasn't prepared to run very fast after that ball, at the moment give the impression of being content to hang on. But Derby are coming for them again. This time it's Daniel. To Carlin. And Carlin beaten away. So it's Greaves. And of course there's always the chance with Derby coming forward in such numbers that Spurs might yet catch them out at the back. But not with passes like that. So Mackay. On my watch, something like 2.5 minutes to go. Mackay. So it really begins to look as though it's no happy homecoming for him. Wignall taking that one from Daniel. Oh, but playing it much too close to Kinnear. Perryman to England. England again. Carlin. Oh, to Durban. And now to Wignall with a great chance. Just wide of Jennings, who just gets that hand to it. That so nearly was the equaliser. Durban. And Spurs, for so long coasting, now really hanging on in these last couple of minutes. And there goes the final whistle. And not a moment too soon for Spurs. Goals by Jimmy Greaves, who put Spurs ahead with that header. Roger Morgan, who scored the second one. And then Willie Carlin, who gave us that really exciting climax by pulling one back for Derby County. So the final score here at White Hart Lane is Spurs 2, Derby County 1.